So the Irish microbrand Nomadic has just dropped their first GMT. Coincidentally, they had just sent me a couple weeks ago one of their existing dive watches. This one that's on the screen right now, the Marai 401 200-meter diver. Got that in for review. I'll flip over to that here after we take a look at their brand new GMT, which just dropped. A little bit larger size at 41 millimeters. The Marai comes in at about just under 40, technically a 39. So here we have a new GMT, got a variety of colorways. Shares again the very strong X1 Supernova that I like so much about the existing dive watch, the Marai. Let's take a look at some of the specs. This just came out a couple hours ago, so I'm just looking at this here myself. 41 millimeter case, Jubilee style bracelet. That's a nice upgrade over the Marai has more of a traditional oyster style bracelet. X1 Super Luminova, love it. Fully lume bezel, that's nice. You can see this in the lume shot. They have loomed all the numbers and the pip up there. Love that. Lume on the GMT hand. Good times. So still a Solita movement, rock solid. Love Solita movements. 56-hour power reserve. Regulated in-house, that's good. Not COSC certified, but regulated. So plus or minus 6 seconds, that's good. Sapphire case back. Bet you it's going to have that same rotor that they put in the dive watch. We'll see a shot of it here. But the dive watch is the Marai. They have this great paddle wheel rotor that's reminiscent of the ship, the Nomadic, which is what the brand is named after. The Nomadic being of the same vintage as the Titanic, made by the same outfit. So the Nomadic still, the Nomadic is still afloat. It's a museum now. They're in Belfast. I understand they did a launch event for the GMT watch aboard. That must have been a lot of fun. So the Marai comes in this very fetching green. Being an Irish brand, you gotta love the green color there. Colorway that has a dark red, the classic black and gold, is obviously very strongly inspired by the Tudor Black Bay 58, or the classic Tudor Black Bay, with the red pip and the gold accents, the lack of the crown guard, the overall layout of the dial, the red pip and everything. It's a homage, to put it lightly, of the Black Bay 58. Slightly different handset, obviously. No snowflake hands, no real detail there on that square hand. The one they sent me is the blue colorway. Also got a very nice white, black and white with the yellow accent there on the second hand. They all, I believe, have that yellow second hand. So that's kind of a common thread in their design language. Let's go back to the new GMT, the Fior 555 GMT. Also has the yellow accent there, yellow text. GMT yellow, GMT hand with triangle. Date at 6 o'clock now. That's a difference. Crisp font, a different kind of blockier 12 up there. So now you do get a 12 instead of just a triangle. So it's branching out a little bit in their design language. Very nice black and gray. Of course, GMT bezels typically have a two-tone, like a Pepsi or a Coke or a root beer of the Rolex fame. So we have some inspiration from that, but nothing as directly inspired. Like there's no Pepsi here with red and blue. They're branching out a little bit more, using that yellow. But I think my favorite's got to be the green. If you're going for something that's here, built in Belfast, come on, you got to go for the Kelly green. But the Crimson Dawn, I think, is also very fetching. They're all very fetching. This one has kind of the Fotina lume on it. That's very nice. They also have a higher end one with some gold, some real gold on the bracelet and the bezel. So that's very nice. A little higher price there. Just over 2,000 pounds. So it's coming in at about double what one of the, well, the GMT's here coming in just under 1,600 pounds. The Marai that I have on loan at the moment comes in at just over £1,000. So another 50% or so to get the GMT function, which most of that's going to the extra cost of the movement. So that's to be expected. It's still just a fraction of a price of what you would pay for the Tudor Black Bay 58 compared to one of these that's so strongly inspired by the Tudor Black Bay. But the real star of the show is the fact that this is an Irish micro brand that is assembling their watches right there in Belfast. Nobody else can lay claim to that. If you're of Irish heritage, if you're living in Ireland now, if you're descended from Irish in your pedigree, as I am, but just a little bit Irish back there in the mix. Certainly would be proud to have that stamped there on the dial. Let's see, what else was built in Belfast? Well, the Titanic was built in Belfast. Great shipbuilding history there that they're celebrating, particularly with that lovely kind of copper. I don't know if it's solid copper, what exactly it's how they do that, but that's really well done. So enough looking at the website. Let's flip over and take a look at the Marai dive watch in person. Here is the Nomadic Marai 39mm dive watch. They sent me in for review here a couple weeks ago, so I've been enjoying wearing this here for the last few days. 39mm size just wears so well. It's got the bracelet that just drapes right on down. It's got the on-the-fly adjustment system, which works pretty well. The micro brands are really ahead of a lot of the major brands, including things like Micro Adjust. The bracelet itself is nicely polished, nicely done, no sharp edges, solid links, screw-in link system. Kind of the showstoppers on the back. You get that propeller counterweight for the automatic movement. That's their own custom addition to the Solita movement inside. Really love that detail. This has a blue arrangement, kind of a very bright, cheerful blue with the yellow fun color on the sword style second hand, sweeping away there at 4 hertz. 200-meter diver, so 660 feet, screw down crown. Very capable specs on here. Good action on the threading. Good smooth action winding, the Solita movement too. 120 click, unidirectional bezel, very little backlash, very nicely done, very reminiscent again of the quality and action that you would get out of a Tudor. This is just, a third or 25% of the price, so you're getting a tremendous bargain if you were into that style. I did want to point out how incredible the lume is. Very impressed with the Super Luminova X1 on here. I'm just going to go ahead and charge up the lume here with a UV light and then kill the overhead light here so you can see how this puppy glows. You can really see how that just bright. Got the great pip. Let's take a few measurements here. Should come in right about 39, so there you go. Just a hair over 39. Let's see, 39.8 roughly across the bezel, so a little bit closer to 40. Of course, 20 millimeters across the bracelet. 12 and change, including the top of the crystal. That's still great. I mean, anything under 13 really is just going to wear fine. Anything under 12 I would consider to be pretty svelte. Quick release on the watch ends. So here it is on a fun little NATO strap I had in the drawers. A little small for it, but you kind of get the effect. You can match with the blue, the yellow, the silver. So here it is back on the bracelet. I guess I will leave it there. If you enjoyed this, would like to see more micro brands reviewed, unbiased reviews, unsponsored here on the channel, please do like and subscribe. Until the next one, have fun out there. God bless.